Hi, YouTube.
Hi, friends.
Welcome to a new podcast that we are doing with the Uke Master One, who you can see here next to me, his little icon, because he doesn't have a webcam yet, because he hates
You
me.
can see, the zero production value that we've put into this. Oh,
Yeah. Hey,
oh
I'm
shit!
nice. I'm nice and dressed up. What do you mean? Look at this. Production value. My hair is done. I got a
Production value.
tie. Production value.
Okay, can we just talk about COVID hair right now? Because like the COVID hair, my hair right now, it's in the awkward in between phase where it wants to get longer, but it's still stuck being short as hell. And you're just like, wait, really,
I mean,
really?
I'm growing my hair out for Halloween. So
Very
it's
nice.
also like an awkward long phase, but it's not like long enough to do anything cool. Anyways, YouTube.
I get this. So,
This is
anyways,
this is our podcast. Two guys, me and Uke. Two
two
drinks. I'm
two
currently
drinks.
rocking out with the Smirnoff,
Right now, I've got some vodka and some Pepsi. Sorry, actually,
and then
some
we've got
Coca-Cola.
a
And
shot
we
of
got a
introduction.
shot. Oh.
My shot is some Hornitos tequila. What are you taking a shot of today, sir?
I just finished off some Tito's, so I'm gonna polish that with a shot.
All right. Are you ready
Yep.
for our wonderful shot, sir?
Cheers,
What are we cheersing to? Give us a good cheers. Give us a good salute.
bro. Cheers to the introduction. Cheers to the voyage of a brand new podcast. Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ah, gotta respect and love the burn, right? And then you just wash it down right after with the Smirnoff. Oh no.
I
Oh,
am
buddy,
so bad with alcohol, dude.
dude, you look like you are just dying over there.
Yeah.
So,
I shouldn't have done tequila, but that's the only thing I had to take a shot of today.
oh, good. Well, if you mix like a good tequila, now then you're fine. But it's when the tequila's bad that's the tough part.
It wasn't great tequila.
Oh,
Anyways, let's
do I
start
feel
with
sorry for you?
introductions. Uke, would you like to go first, sir? Tell the internet.
Sure.
Why are you qualified to do a podcast, sir?
I'm not.
Fair
I've been
enough.
streaming now for about 4 months now. Coincidentally, we have just been ever since COVID been discovering hobbies, discovering new channels in life, and this happens to be a very good one that's been very fruitful with meeting new people and meeting new friends. And honestly, you and I have really good chemistry. So I mean, this has just been something that's been going on ever since Wednesdays was Suna. This has been a seed, and now it's just coming to fruition. I really like it.
All right.
I just love the stain, just the absolute silence, and just the head nod. Because
I was expecting more of an introduction. I'm not gonna
well,
lie.
well, it's fine. I can keep on going. I mean, it's not something that's I don't understand quite like what the qualifications would be. Okay, so I've streamed for 4 months. I've been in COVID. I'm 23, currently based out of Utah, and I work full time. I drink a lot.
Where do you work at, my friend? What do you do for a living?
So I work for a call center. I call people and ask them to pay their bills, but we do it in a really different manner, which is nice. I used to work with a lot of like residences, especially during this time. It was really tough, and now I'm working with business owners. So I mean, it's been a really big tonal shift with everything that's been going on.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And if you
what are
ever
your
want
dream-
the way to my heart, buy me some Bud Light, because
Buy
Bud
him some
Light
Bud
is
Light.
just the best.
Bud Light, boys and girls.
Bud
And,
Light.
what are your dreams and aspirations, Uke? What do you want to do when you grow up? Because 23 is definitely not grown up yet.
No, not at all. So ideally, I would just want like a decent sized house with really good internet and maybe a dog, and I think I'd call that good.
You
think
mean
that's
like
all
the
I
one
need.
behind me?
Yes,
Look at her.
but like I don't know, man. Have you seen? There are lots of different things you can do. Kendall, old man, that is true. I am pretty old,
He
but
is in fact old. I need to have your chat open so I can talk to your chat.
dude, I can't believe that I can't believe we're just doing this on the fly. We're just calling this by the seat of our pants.
We're doing
But
it.
you know what? We need to toss everything at these people, including the kitchen sink. Normally we leave that out, but
We're not leaving the kitchen sink out today. We're going all in.
we're going all in. This is about to get ugly, folks. This is about to get bowling shoe ugly. And I need you all to know. I need you all to be prepared.
All right. Is that the end of your introduction? You got more you want to say, my friend?
Man, do I love a great dad joke.
Good dad joke.
So,
all right.
Yeah.
Hit it with us. Get us one.
Oh, man. So here's one that I'm pretty sure you haven't heard in a while.
I'm ready.
Are you ready? Okay. So, what do you say when you fail a chemistry class? Now it's time to chemist try again.
Podcast is
Oh,
canceled. I'm going home, guys. It's time to go to bed. Have a good night. Peace
see?
out. YouTube,
And
like,
now
subscribe, comment if you enjoyed.
we should get John on Twitch and have him stream keywords. I really should. If Punish Tom had his own portion of this, it would be insane. That's my roommate, by the way, John. He plays this game called like In Birth Undernight Retail Home Buyers Edition. It's real weird. It's a fighting game. It's an anime fighting game. It's a really good game, but it's it's just something. It's an experience, is all I can say.
All right.
So, my friend Tristan, I will defer to you. You take over, man.
Thank you, sir. As Mr. Uke Master once said, my name is Tristan, better known as Tsunayumi here on the internet. This here behind me is my beautiful dog, Chloe. She is the light of my life. She's adorable. Look at her struggling to stand. She's also really lazy, and she's a Tootsie Roll. I am 22, almost 23, based out of Colorado. I work for Microsoft. I'm an IT support guy.
Nice.
I used to stream, and then my internet became really bad, so now I do everything on YouTube. Here on YouTube, we have D&D going. We play Among Us, Fall Guys. We have Halo going with Mr. Uke Master 1 here.
Hell yeah.
As for my qualifications for why I should be on a podcast here with Uke, I feel like I'm a very wise young man. Wise beyond my years, you know?
That's all you got. Not even like you play Magic or you're great at talking. Like
I am great at I'm good. Okay, I'm not good at Magic. I'm okay at Magic. I'm great at talking. I am good at that. I'm an English major in high school.
Yo,
I'm an English major in college. I'm sorry. Am Goose.
An English major?
I'm an English major. I'm a published poet.
Ooh. Oh, baby. Speak words to my heart right now.
Nah, the first podcast is not where you read poetry, my friend. That is like a later podcast down the line. If you guys want to see my poetry or hear it, you gotta stay tuned for more podcasts.
Oh, you think this man has the same headset? Oh, fuego!
You have a great taste in headsets, my friend. They're beautiful.
Yeah. So, this is our first podcast, our first introduction into everything. And we were just kind of, running the gambit, giving the introductions. I apologize. I didn't mean to stop you there. I'm so sorry.
I don't think I have much else to say, so it's okay. That's basically who I am. I'm an English major. I want to be a teacher when I grow up. I have a beautiful dog who's now cuddled up behind me.
Oh.
And we're going to get drunk and talk about stuff probably once a week. I don't know. We haven't really talked about schedule.
Hold up.
Yes?
Before we go too deep into this, let me ask you.
Mm-hmm.
What format? What is your format of choice here with Magic the Gathering?
My format of choice. Okay, if I were rich and money didn't matter, I would be a Legacy player. Because Legacy is the greatest format.
Oh, Legacy? You're one of them?
Yeah, dude, no. So, Legacy has two modes. Legacy is either you die on turn 1, or the game goes into the double digits of turns, and it's incredibly deep, and every single decision you make matters. And those games where every decision you make matters are just beautiful. They touch my soul.
I wish Jeskai Ascendancy. I wish that card could be so much better in a combo deck in Legacy.
No, I played. That was my combo deck in Modern for years.
Oh yeah, Modern is great.
I played tournaments of Jeskai Ascendancy combo in Modern.
No. Modern's great. Standard, it was fantastic. Legacy, it's kind of trash.
Yeah, but if you guys do want to catch my Magic content, I have a few historic videos on my YouTube channel. Historic is kind of my main bread and butter right now because it's the only format that's not absolute garbage, except Uro is a horrible Magic card. WotC, please ban in all formats.
Oh man, Uro, you're gonna make me sad.
Uro is the worst card. Hazard Springy, what's up? How dare you say hi to Uke and not hi to me?
Hey, who's running this show? Oh wait, we're both running this show.
We're both running it.
We're both about to be running this show into the ground. That's just what's happening.
It's my webcam that is up here. The people are looking at me.
You know what? I'm about to prove to you why they call me the Banhammer. Watch this. I'm about to end this call right now. Podcast is canceled. Never again. What's up,
My
other
name
guy?
is Suna Yumi. You can follow me on YouTube. I make YouTube content. I am a friend of Yuke's. This podcast is going on Twitch and on YouTube. I do D&D, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that.
I'm alert. We'll check in every now and then if that's
Peace
okay.
out,
Hey,
peace.
that is more than okay. We are happy to have you. But yeah, no.
So,
See, this is just what it is.
What is
What
it?
is it?
It's a podcast.
What
it's
is
two.
it?
It's two guys get drunk and talk about stuff. This is our first
Yeah.
podcast. It's the introduction.
Exactly. You got to have a strong intro, especially on a podcast.
We get drunk off of strawberry Smirnoffs today because that's what I decided to drink. Oh,
Mhm.
my YouTube? Well, if you type !Yumi in the chat,
Yeah.
there's my YouTube.
There we go. See, look.
You should put !Yumi in your title so people can get both ends. Anyways,
I should, but
also,
I
you don't
probably
even have my
won't because I'm
name in the
lazy.
title.
You know,
People don't even
See?
know my name.
production value is just down here. It's all downhill from here.
Guys, I'll get him. I'll get him in check. All right, I will work with you. We'll get him a format, and you won't just be staring at my face next week. I promise.
So, as you can probably tell, this is a brand new concept, so we're still definitely finagling with things. But we definitely wanted to start off by getting, just kind of a general vibe going. I don't feel like we have necessarily a set of topics. We do have an idea for some that we want to use, but it's more fluid than that because if it wasn't, we'd probably just be here staring at each other, going like, "Ugh," after the first 30
Exactly.
minutes.
So you, what is our general theme of the day? What are we talking about today?
So, I feel as though my word choice, my turn of phrase is not the best. I'm not an English major.
Oh,
I'm not a math major. I'm not even a major. Except maybe a major pain in the ass, but that's a whole different set of issues.
only for me.
Oh, yes. But as far as our kind of gambit, what we're going to be running about today, we're going to be talking about love, loss, and life after COVID, and just talking about our experiences. Because today, if we haven't already touched on it, which we haven't, I know we haven't, Suna, the dapper young gentleman, the suave, debonair man himself, had a date.
That
I know.
I did. Yikes!
Yikes.
Topics.
Heavy topics, exactly. Talking about everything that, like I said, for the first episode, we're tossing everything we can, except for, no, we're tossing in the kitchen sink too.
I feel like by the end of this podcast, after we get a few weeks in, we're going to be dealing with some pretty heavy topics. So,
Heaviest topic is going to be how hefty my clothes are.
Exactly. But this
Oh, yeah.
podcast is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's definitely not for everyone to sit and listen to. If you are not a fan of opinions, you probably shouldn't listen to us because I'm sure we will be talking about our opinions on certain matters
Luckily-
in the world.
Luckily, we have many, and we're pretty easygoing, so
Exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, anyways, you are correct, Uke Master One. I did in fact have a date today.
Oh, yeah.
And that is why
So-
we're dressed up so nicely. Gentlemen, for those of you who don't know,
My gentleman.
when you go on a first date,
I thought that was you
dress
for a
to
sec. You-
impress. No coffee. This is Suna.
Wow. Can't even tell who the real me is.
You've
Wow.
never done a face cam reveal. What do you mean?
Wow, doesn't even know what my face looks like. Can't use his mind powers just to find this all out. Wow.
Well, we
I'm
both
sad.
do wear glasses, I guess, so that's something.
Technically, we're like half of the same person, so it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Glasses make the person, right? Yeah.
Guys, if anyone wants to know, I'm probably Uke's best
Yo.
internet friend, and I haven't even seen his face yet.
Face reveal win. So that is when I hit 69. That's it. No, I'm
69
kidding.
subs, he's gonna reveal his face, chat.
That day will never come, so we're good. I set the impossible goal.
How many subs do you have right now?
I think all my gift subs actually ran out a couple days ago. So it's actually going to start it's actually a pretty uphill battle. Like I said, I'll go actually double check right now. We're going to go with the impossible challenges. Right now we are at 23.
Okay, we'll get there.
So like I said, impossible odds, we're never going to hit that. So we're good. It's going to be easy.
Guys, if you want to see Uke's face, subscribe down below. Click that button, subscribe to Uke, give him $5. He needs it.
I do. I can't afford to simp for others if I don't
How
have
do you think we're
$5.
going to afford all the alcohol we're going to be drinking during these podcasts?
Wait, Where's $1,000 when you need it? No one knows.
Nobody.
Unfortunately, I can't. That's okay, man. Like I said, it's not. I've been saying this since the beginning. I I honestly discourage subbing right now, especially if you're in a really tough position. I That's why I set goals as high as I do for stuff like this, and I don't even have any kind of goal counters anywhere because it doesn't make sense to do it right now. Like $5 is still a lot for someone, and that is really important. Me, well, that's Yuke. Also me. Suna equals Yuke. Re.
You are right though,
See,
Yuke. During this global pandemic, money is significantly harder to come by, which is rough.
that's rough, buddy.
I used to be subbed to all of my friends. I used to be subbed to Joe, Angie, Foxy, Sammy. I used to be subbed to the entire community.
Exactly.
And then I ran out of money, and I had to cancel almost all my subs, and I feel bad about it. I really wish I could be subbed to everyone, but sadly,
When you're
money
not
is
a friend,
rough.
hey, coffee. Coffee's always been down.
You're a friend, Coffee.
Yeah, that's right.
But besides money, why as we sit here and talk about COVID,
And money.
what other way and money? Yeah, I mean, COVID and money kind of go hand in hand, sadly.
Exactly. They're two. It's unfortunately it's two halves of the same coin. You can't have at least a modicum of one without the other, and it's really tough to really express that. I mean, you talk about people like Bronk,
Mhm.
who even actively showed such kindness and even said, "Hey, actively just do not sub. Right now is not the time to be doing it." And actively talking about people because that's what I do from on my daily is I talk to people in those tougher situations that can't afford to pay bill X or Y. And it is a tough situation to be in. I haven't been to one of your streams, Rip Suna.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, no.
answering him.
Well,
You were getting to a deep topic, so I just typed it in the chat. Keep talking,
I
you.
get
Come
you.
on, keep talking. I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from, though. When COVID first hit, I was
Hmm.
a server. I've been serving for 5 years of my life. And they shut restaurants down completely, and I lost my job. My restaurant shut down completely, and I was left jobless. So,
See, and that's something I can really relate to too,
and
because
I was jobless for two
actually
months.
I was a former assistant kitchen manager before I even started this job. So for about 2 years, I had done everything from dishwashing to serving to running the front desk to doing all of that. I When it really hits you how hard industries like fashion, like things like restaurant touring,
Yeah.
I mean, so many smaller businesses, and this was actually towards the beginning of COVID. This
Hmm.
number has more than likely grown. It's more than likely grown. There were almost, I believe it was in May when I read the article. They said almost 100,000 small businesses would have to close due to COVID-19,
Yeah.
and that was, I mean, just exponentially. Believe just putting that in there, just trying to quantify that.
It's
I
insane. Like COVID is, it feels so small because like when you think about the average like death toll of COVID comparing to like like the bubonic plague back in the 13th century, it's not a lot. Like I'm not up on the exact number, but I know it's at least over 100,000. It's the fact is
actually,
it's just so contagious, you know, and like
well,
it's not gonna have a big effect on me. Probably it wouldn't have a big effect on you, the disease itself, but like if I
it is
got COVID and gave it to my grandma and she died because of it, I'd be devastated.
it is such a scary thought. I mean,
200 deaths
first
in
and
America
foremost,
alone, at least. All right, that's a good stat. Thank you.
first and foremost, before anything, before we continue talking about this, I need to preface this by saying it completely. And I feel like this is something that a sentiment you and I can definitely share.
Hmm.
It's don't be afraid to say that you're not okay with this. I mean, it's a tough topic. We're going to cover topics that aren't always going to be agreeable, that aren't always going to be easy. So always make sure to do what's best for you and definitely best for your mental health as well, because it's something that everyone struggles with.
And I'm sure
It,
there's going to be topics that you and I cover in later podcasts that we won't agree on personally, and this podcast will turn into us arguing for a few minutes.
exactly. I mean, personally, at least I do see that you're a man of style. I see your double Windsor there.
Oh yes, double Windsor's the only way to go.
Exactly, exactly. Only
Thanks,
only
coffee.
the true
Appreciate it.
gentleman use use the double Windsor. Only the true gentleman.
Also, I want everyone to know this is my favorite shirt. It looks like dots from afar, okay? But if you get really close to the shirt, hold on. We can make this happen. Maybe.
Oh, are they just all upside down crosses?
They're airplanes.
I was expecting upside down crosses.
It's my favorite shirt. It's the airplane shirt.
Very nice.
I love it.
'Cause-
Again, it looks professional, but it's not professional because it's airplanes and I'm a child. Anyways, I had to put that in there.
No, I can respect it. But that's really the best thing that I can say is always make the best choice for your mental, for your physical, for whatever that best choice may be.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Also, Chad, I apologize. I'm really not trying to ignore anyone or trying to like go back and forth. I'm just trying to make sure that I'm staying engaged in the conversation as well.
Oh.
Upside down
I'm
crosses
laughing at
equals airplane.
Coffee's statement. Upside down crosses
like
equals
that.
airplanes, which equals Satan, which equals something.
Exactly.
We'll probably get into
Exactly.
religion in one of these topics eventually. But today we're talking about
Oh.
COVID. And again, Uke works with people who can't pay their bills because of COVID. I was incredibly fortunate. I have an old track coach. I used to
Mhm.
run track, whose
Okay.
son worked for an employment center.
Okay.
Who got me this job at Microsoft. I would never have found this job on my own. So I was incredibly lucky after getting laid off from serving when COVID hit. But I know there's so many people who have filed for unemployment who are not nearly as lucky as I am, and I feel for them.
Well,
It really hurts. Like watching the struggle of everyone. I wish I know millionaires aren't millionaires because they're super generous, but like I wish I was a millionaire because I would just fucking have my money, pay your rent, dude. Like let me help you. I wish that was
I
the thing
went
that
out
would happen.
and bought 2 hurricanes and a Corona to 2020.
Oh yeah.
Woo!
Hey, don't forget Killer Bees.
Okay, now those were actually just really overhyped. No, don't get me started on the whole fake ass killer bees. No. That is some falsity.
What about World
and I
War
will not-
III?
We're already there.
What about
It's fine.
fires that are so I live in
Satan
Colorado.
equals fire, which equals California, which equals yes.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I live in Colorado, and we literally had it snow and we had fire on the same day. Like, if I look outside right now, I can barely breathe outside because we have so much smoke. We had an earthquake
Exactly.
in Utah. Yeah, like 2020 is wild, and it's just trying to fuck everyone up.
Dude, 2020 is like the worst divorce ever. Just watching it happen, it's like if someone just took security cameras and just put it in the worst divorce you could find.
What's next? Oh, I don't even want to answer what's next, Hazard, because
Exactly,
it's probably
no.
World War IV. World War III hasn't happened yet. We're skipping World War III, going straight to World War IV because it's so bad. I don't know.
Okay, so real question here, real topics, just to kind of kick this thing off with a bang.
Oh, we haven't kicked it off already? I thought we had already kicked it off.
We already set it off. We kicked the door in, but I mean, we got to continue on. We don't stay stagnant here.
Yes,
On
that's Chloe.
the-
She's the love of my life, Coffee. Sorry.
Exactly. No, you were completely fine. Chloe we need a Chloe cam.
Oh,
I don't need you. Can we need a Chloe?
Come here. We can
Yes. Bring the dog. I love dogs.
go. She's a little camera shy.
Here we go. Oh. Hey.
Hi, baby girl.
Aw. There we go. Yes. See, now the true podcast is complete when we have the dogs. Now,
Oh, I'm so sorry,
Aw.
Hazard. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Hazard, we apologize. But Chloe is so cute. We need to invest in a Chloe cam. This is something that has to happen. I can't not be consumed with this right now.
Well, she just generally lies in bed all day.
That's okay.
Chloe
That is
best
perfectly
Chloe, you
okay.
are right. No, she's a little tootsie roll. She's gotten a little fat, but that's okay.
She needs a treat.
She needs a treat. All right, hold on, chat. We will give her a treat.
Yes.
Chat.
Otto.
We have here a bone. Chloe's.
Oh.
Look at her.
Look at her. She's getting ready to be
excited.
Oh, she's so ready. Yes. Yes.
She just likes to lick it for a bit.
Give it to her.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
See, that's all the Chloe cam should be, is just her licking the bone for about an hour.
Oh, and then she vomited.
We'll think about that later. We'll fix it in post.
Well, hold on. Let me explain.
Oh,
Let me explain my dog for everyone real quick. So
dog Chanel.
for those of you who don't know, my dog has something called mega esophagus. So what that means is her esophagus is too big for her throat.
Huh.
So if she gets too excited so it doesn't push the food down. She has to have gravity help her. So if she gets
Okay.
too excited or too happy or she drinks water too quickly or anything like that, she immediately vomits it all up. As she has done to my bed, which I will have.
A little gross, but I'll drink to that. It just means she was too happy and having too much enjoyment with that nice little bone. Seriously, she didn't have a bone to pick at all. She had a bone to eat.
But yeah, she is the love of my life. She's a great dog.
Yes.
She's a rescue. Her mega esophagus is not nearly as bad as anyone makes it out to be. I love her to death. She's gonna go find her bone off.
Okay.
Throw up on floor soon to cover it up. No, she threw up on my bed. I just don't have time to take it. And
It's
fix my
fine.
laundry.
We'll edit that in post. It's fine.
I won't edit it in post. It gets to stay in.
No, I'm kidding. We'll
really
we'll
don't.
put it in. We'll actually just put it in slow mo, so she accidentally just a tiny bit.
We didn't cover it up. All right, Coffee. We just don't
Yeah.
have time to clean it right now.
It's fine. It's perfectly fine. Now back on to our weird topics.
Wait. I mean, are you saying COVID's weird? How
Yes.
dare you, sir? Don't nose boot me. Hi, I love you.
Yay, nose boops. Okay. Now back on track here. We need some spicy details, sir. You, my friend, you've been to the promised land. You got a girl. You got her number. You talked to her.
Yes.
You got her to go on a date. You saw her in public. She ran away. I know. It's fine. But
So-
tell us about the experience.
So let me break it down. First of all, gentlemen, if there's
Magenta.
one thing a woman loves, it's a fancy first date. If you text a girl and you say, "Hey, for our first date, let's dress up. Let's get ties. Let's get button-ups. You get a dress. That is something almost no girl has never ever experienced. They love it. Women love a fancy first date. Because it's unique, but it's like it's a cliche, but it's unique because no one does it anymore. No one wants to put in that extra effort, you know?
So let's start here. Where'd you go?
We went to an Italian restaurant. It's called La Bella Vita.
What kind
And we
of
got ice cream afterwards.
Oh, ice cream, very nice.
Yes.
What kind of any appetizers?
Just the bread they give. Hey, let's get dressed up and get all nice.
Tell me about the actual meal. What was it? What was the vibe? What was the conversation like?
Let me break it down. Of course, obviously I'm a gentleman. I picked her up at 7:15. Our reservation was 7:45. I picked her up at 7:15. And we're very similar. Her name is Olivia, for those of you who don't know, which is no one but me and her. So her name is Olivia. I picked her up at 7:15. She is 20 years old.
Okay.
And by the way, Donk, getting dressed up and getting McDonald's is not a bad plan,
great.
all right?
Seriously, man. I think people don't realize how much actually happens in McDonald's parking lot.
I'm telling you, women love to dress up, and they love to have a man who wants to dress up with them. Like even just dressing up and going to McDonald's is a phenomenal date to some women. I'm not saying all. I'm not gonna generalize. I'm not gonna say all women. But like,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
for me at least, the kind of girl that I would love to be with, Guru Suna, Donk.
Yeah.
Throughout this podcast, Donk, I'm going to give you some of the greatest love advice because I have been through the gauntlet. Okay, I'm 22 years old, but I have seen the world.
The shaman of shenanigans, Suna Yumi.
We are going to get in some topics in this podcast, Donk, and I'm going to be very, very honest. And y'all might not like me after my honesty, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways. That's what alcohol's for.
Man. Okay, we're gonna have to set boundaries on whatever honesty is, but we'll figure that out.
We'll talk about it later.
Exactly. So when are you gonna be here for 5 years? Wait, so we're gonna be here for? I'm actually really confused. By
I think
that.
you meant so we are gonna be here for 5 years.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Why do you
If
love
we-
opinions, Donk? I really need your chat for my YouTube because my
We-
YouTube doesn't see me or just kind of hears me chatting.
Huh.
Because everyone's opinion is different. Exactly. That's why.
Exactly.
That's why I
Well, the thing
love
is,
talking to people. I am an English major, as I've said a few times.
Mhm.
And God, one of my favorite things, it's getting into arguments with people. And the current connotation of arguments is people yelling at each other and getting into it. But no, an argument is a civil conversation between two people where you have different opinions and you get into it. You really dig into the other person's opinions. And that to me is so amazing.
the honest thing is that it's never really even a discussion anymore about like two bros just having that kind of an argument, or even that, like you said, maybe a bit more passionate discussion. But it's more just become, oh no, you're wrong. Also, really,
Exactly.
you didn't even do the laundry? Wow,
I did do laundry.
you just
About a
didn't put
week
it away.
ago.
I see.
No, that's dirty.
You- Oh wow, so you haven't done laundry, so you've
Look at
lied
my
to me.
closet. There's all my stuff hanging up and folded.
That is not even. Oh my gosh, Suna.
Sir, I don't.
Discussions will be had.
We'll get into it later. Anyways, yeah,
Yeah.
opinions are an amazing thing, and I hate the
Mhm.
the current connotation of opinions is bad, which
Yeah.
is horrible. I think that is the worst connotation of opinions ever. People having different opinions is an amazing thing.
Just like I said, I believe that we should revive Suna's emo phase.
Yo, I can hold on. I need to pull up my
I don't know.
camera. Hold on.
I'm
We can
Well, that's why I was thinking
yo,
upside down
evil
crossword, because I thought,
Evil Spider-Man here.
who are you, Tobey Maguire?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
Anyways.
about to break it out, about to start jamming down. I see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. Truly, I do.
But no, Donk is right. Thank you, Donk. I do.
Yeah,
I
welcome
tried
back.
really hard to look fresh today.
Double
or
wins are very
days.
nice. We've pointed it out, but most people don't. You do the double Windsor. So yeah, I've seen you BTW. I know, right? It's
You need to
almost
send me a
like,
Snapchat of what you look like, so I know.
oh my gosh, girl, it is not even like that bad.
I just need to know what you look like, Yuke. Okay?
You don't even listen. I'm just a faceless name in this void that we call existence.
Also, sir, how many drinks in are you?
I am down one drink, well, one full shot, and about, according to my Bud Light, I'm taking a little slow today.
I've done one shot and I'm opening my third drink now.
Oh, you jerk! I have to catch up, don't I?
You most certainly do. Me,
Oh,
Foxy, Yuke, and Ocean saw each other's faces.
Yeah,
Okay,
that
Donk,
was a good time. That was a chill
excuse
time.
me. Donk,
Oh,
hit me
man.
up. Hit me up on Discord. We're making a group chat of everyone in
Dude.
Snapchat. We're making a Snapchat group chat.
He was flexing. I think Donk be flexing in the chat though. He's trying to flex on you, being like, "Nah, you ain't a part of the group. You don't know what he looks like." Wow. He's trying to dunk on you,
I don't
Suna.
have
Like
Snapchat.
that's what's
Neither did
happening
Yuke
here.
before today. Hazard Springy, if you are a content creator, I'll include you.
Oh, nah, man. That like Hazard. He's still new to the game, and I honestly, I think I've seen a couple of his streams, but he's still getting there.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, back on topic here. We are easily
Exactly.
distracted, sir.
Well, I think that's what I'm saying is I don't want a solid topic because I feel like having the fluidity and the versatility
I
to
100%
really just
agree.
hop around is a
agree.
little bit better.
It should having a topic to like get back to whoever awkwardly paused is good, but
Exactly. I'm just like we are just basically talking about whatever the hell we want to,
and it's amazing. The people will
that
love
is
it.
what it's for. That is what this entire show is for. It's just like I said, it's a conversation, and that's what we hope to make it is a conversation.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
this is no different than if I was sitting at home talking with Suna, telling him, "Hey Suna,
What's up? How you doing?
you're looking fresh today, bro."
Thank you.
There we go. See?
Anyways, so I really want
Bro, you would love to be on this
Donk, we will
podcast.
get some guests in here eventually. I promise.
Exactly, eventually. I feel like after we get the formatting down and we get this down, it'll be two guys, two drinks, a shot of whatever the topic is, and then a chaser of of the guest, and it'll just keep on going.
We got to make this big on YouTube, guys. Do we have
Yeah,
a name for the podcast? Yeah, it's two guys, two
Yeah,
drinks,
two
and
guys
a
and two
shot of
drinks.
X.
Yeah, so right now,
Whatever the topic is.
because unfortunately, Cold Ones is taken. Yeah, no,
Nah.
this is 2 guys, 2 drinks, and a shot of introduction. That is our first episode title. And if you need a title for the discussion, there you have it.
Yeah, and what we're gonna change of introduction to whatever the topic of the day is.
Mhm.
Exactly, Donk. Two
Exactly,
guys,
except
two
for
drinks, and a shot of blank featuring Donk.
exactly, and that would be kind of where it goes.
Yep.
Exactly. See, even the chat's getting it down. They're
They're
see
figuring it out. They're smart kids.
smart kids. Ooh,
But yeah,
sorry,
we're
that was
gonna
a fresh one.
get them to 1 billion subs to be able to see. So if we can get Yuke's Twitch to blow up and my YouTube to blow up, so this podcast becomes big and everyone sees it, that's the dream.
Like I said, 69 subscribbles, and you will see my face. 2 guys, 2 drinks, and 1 podcast. See, that could even be an example for one thing coming later.
You're figuring it out. Zen.
We're call it Lord Zen. It is gonna be lovely.
So, anyways, I really want to dive into your perspective on COVID, because
Oh.
you have because you work at this call center that collects bills from people who aren't paying their bills in this time. That really interests me. I want to hear some stories from your side. I really want to dig into what you've experienced.
So, I certainly have a way of speaking, and sometimes it feels a little bit embellished, but these conversations are raw, and it's something that can get really fueled.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's literally just saying, "Hey, it's nice to meet you. I'm calling because of this reason." And more than likely they'll have an idea on why I'm calling, but it sucks to say, "Hey, why can't if I know you can't make this payment, but could we do it in maybe 2 weeks or a few weeks?" Or even talking with someone or saying, "Hey, you know what? I don't feel like I should be able to pay. I should have to pay from this account because I never used the services." But saying, "I get that, but for the last 6 months, we've been putting things in place to help kind of get you back into a position where you could, and you never took advantage of those. And so right now, I'm in between a rock and a hard place." I mean, just imagine this. Imagine Suna for a moment. Let's even take this for example with you.
Uh huh.
Imagine you get just a simple telephone call. You answer, you're like, "Oh man, who's this?" And it's just that reminder saying, "Right now you can't pay your bill. Right now you can't support your family. You can't make enough ends meet to support your business that you built from the ground up. You can't support your passion project or like go through that process, those doubts in your mind saying, well, how am I going to do this?" Like you said, even a restaurant fully closing down. Imagine that call saying, "Hey, you have a bill of almost $4,000. How are you going to pay it?"
Mm-hmm.
And having no answer. Having a shot in the dark and just having to hang your head, slump your shoulders, and say, I really don't know. It's tough. There are tough conversations that you have to have with people and saying, "I get that, but for the last 6 months, we've been trying to reach you and we've been trying to talk with you. There has to be a level of accountability to some degree."
Mm-hmm.
But even at other rates, let's even flip that on its head. You have people who will staunchly deny that and say, "No, I mean, even if it goes under, it's going to affect the business, not my personal credit. But if the business has no money, what can I do?" And sometimes that's the stance it'll take. So it's even harder to speak with those people because there's just that instant barrier of, well, it's kind of a wash at the end of the day. It's a failure, but it's a wash.
Uh huh.
I mean, it is such a hectic topic to discuss. Just getting those thoughts properly in your head.
I couldn't even imagine. Like, can you imagine opening a business in 2019 and it starts thriving and doing well, and then boom, COVID hits and it just wrecks everything?
Exactly. March hits, you're in the green, you're in a solid color, and then it falls apart.
And that just I couldn't imagine your dream being devastated by something
Oh
just
no.
out of your control.
No, Zen. So we're not talking about my company, no. I'm talking about because I'm working right now with small business owners. I'm talking about personal experiences talking to those owners. Yeah, I apologize. I should probably make sure to be more clear about that, but
Mm-hmm.
no, it's a bit of a different situation.
I worked before COVID. I worked for a Chinese restaurant, and it was a real small Chinese restaurant. And there was only like 20 tables in the restaurant total, but we had a loyal a loyal a loyal customer base. A lot of people who came in at the same time every single week. Um, and stuff like that. And then COVID hit, and the restaurant just lost everything, all because we had to close restaurants for a while here in America.
Mhm.
And my boss ran out of money very quickly because we were going week or month to month making meets end. He had to fire all of his employees. He had to shut down the restaurant. He had to sell the restaurant.
Exactly.
Someone else owns it now, and he lost his dream. He had this Chinese restaurant for like 15 years, and he was doing well with it for 15 whole years. And then COVID hit, and he lost it. And it's rough for me. I lost my job that I loved, and I was sad about it. But it's even more rough for him because he lost something he'd been building for 15 whole years.
See, and then imagine going back and trying to explain that to the people that rely on that.
Yeah.
Or even trying to have that conversation, like you said, with your employees, saying, "Hey, realistically, I can't pay you. I can't
It was a
afford to go through
tough
my payroll."
conversation. He had us all come in for a meeting, and he sat us all down. And he said, "Hey guys, like, we don't have money. Like, I can't keep running this restaurant, and I'm sorry. I worked for this Chinese restaurant for 2 years, by the way. So I've been there for a hot minute. Not obviously not 15 years, but I was one of the longest employees there. And it's just like, hey, I'm sorry. I know you've been here for 2 years and you've been a great employee, and there's just nothing I can do for you."
Exactly, it's heartbreaking. It is a tough conversation to have. And I mean, I'm thankful because at least I have the opportunity to go about it, and be tactful about it and be respectful and speak as best as I can with whatever options we have available. But sometimes it is that conversation of saying, "Hey, at this point, realistically, the best play is to cancel out that account and then open it up when you can."
Yeah, and I'm thankful. I managed to find a new job relatively quickly. I work for Microsoft now. I work literally, my work computer is right next to me, and like I have a good, well-paying job going on right now. But most people can't. There's a lot of people who can't say the same. Many of my coworkers included in that. I feel horrible. Like I wish there was more I could do, but I can't. I can't cure a disease. Like I can barely pay my own bills. I can't help them.
Jawblood, thank you so much for the follow. And definitely thank you and much appreciated. Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, Jawblood. If you have anything you want to talk about or ask, you can go ahead and put it in the chat. We'll address any questions or anything said in the chat. And
exactly. I drink too. Hey, cheers. There we go. Sipping strong tonight. That is awesome.
Ooh, I am going to feel this in the morning, my friends.
Good. That's when you know you did right. But see, that's
anyway, yeah, COVID. It's just, and it came out of seemingly nowhere. Like we were doing just fine, and then just pop, done.
Got the whiskey and the White Claws out. Cheers. Cheers to that. I'll drink to that.
I'll drink anything, honestly, except for bad things. I won't drink to bad things.
You know what I'll drink to?
This podcast?
The beginning of a brand new podcast. You're right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Sometimes you look for an excuse to drink. This is one of them.
You don't need excuses to drink. 2020 sucks. There's your excuse.
But I don't know. So we always say it's out of nowhere, but that just conceptually is it. I don't know. It's to a degree inaccurate.
We had, and I really don't want. This week at least, I don't want to get into the politics at all.
Oh no, we don't. I honestly want to avoid politics if I can. It is such a draining subject matter right now.
It really is. I don't know where you stand on politics.
One day, maybe if I'm really drunk, then I can get into it.
But without getting into the politics of it all, obviously there was warning and there was better ways to handle COVID.
I think if we would have been more upfront about prevention, then we can. But
agreed, yeah.
I mean, really, the thing is like even right now, the standard practice is just people are so staunchly in their own opinions at times that it gets tough to have those conversations, but that's okay.
There are also people who don't help the cause. People, chat, when you go outside, wear your masks, okay?
Wait, Suna, why aren't you wearing your mask?
Because I'm inside. I'm in my home. There's no one around me.
Good answer.
Can we talk about how stores handled it? You know, Donk, you're right. Some stores handled it better than others.
Well, I mean, even take a look at Chick-fil-A. So let's use them as a prime example. So what they do is there is no contact there. They're still able to exemplify how quickly they run their business, how efficiently they are. But
Yeah.
all of the it's either on a tray or it's no contact, literally as best they can. And every single time, like they still have that can-do attitude. And the thing is, you would expect something when you would expect a business, especially one that in a restaurant, to be really hit and affected,
Hazard,
like
you can't say
just
shit like that when I'm
emotionally.
drinking, dude. I almost
Oh
fucking
no,
choked
I
to
see
death.
that. I see that. No, yep. But no,
Sorry,
I'm
continue.
serious. Like you see, oh, Mochi Senpai.
Larry,
Oh,
I invited you to this podcast and you said no, you didn't have time. This is your fault.
welcome to the list of three-time subscriber champions.
Join the party,
Join.
cheers, mate. I just want drinks. Larry, drink with us. If you have topics you want to bring up for the podcast, bring them up. We're turning to talk about how Donk wanted to talk about how Walmart handles COVID.
I really don't know, but
honestly, at least here in
one more
Colorado,
closer for the face reveal. Nice.
in Colorado, Walmart handled it pretty well. They almost every Walmart here in Colorado. This is very specific to Colorado Springs, my city that I live in. This is very specific to them.
Okay.
You're only allowed to go one way in each aisle. They don't let you without masks. They have specific hours for elderly people to shop, and only elderly people or assistants for the elderly. So Walmart in Colorado Springs handled things well. I don't know how how the general company of Colorado handled things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they close one entrance, so you have to be in. Every time I've gone to a Walmart, they have a person with a little iPad clicking every time someone walks in and walks out, so they keep track of how many people are in the store. So, Donk, if Walmart handles things worse just in general, let us know in the chat. But here in Colorado, they handled things pretty well.
See, and that is another really big thing that you can speak with about businesses is looking at how they changed results and how they were able to change course so rapidly.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
That is crazy. Wow, that's way better than exactly. I mean,
have you been to a Walmart, Uke? How is Walmart in Utah? Like, what is happening? Are they adapting the same things Colorado's Walmart is happening?
So they're honestly here. Well, exactly. They just put on one-way signs on the floors. They don't mandate it. It's tough to have people regulate wearing masks. They don't. Sure, they have the like barriers between each entrance, but they don't really keep anything, really 6 feet apart. And it's tough. It is so tough to find any spacing throughout that store.
Are you?
I mean,
that is very different from what I have here.
Exactly. The iPad thing is something that I never even heard of. It is such an actually interesting concept. Oh yeah.
Well, so Colorado in general is very. I feel like people here are much more easily adaptable, and they're much nicer. We're a military state. I have 4 or 5 military bases around me, like exactly right now. And we're also very. We're a very outdoor state. Lots of hiking. We have the mountains with us.
Yeah.
So it's people here are a lot nicer, and a lot more easily adaptable, I think. So when COVID first hit, and I had to go to Walmart to buy stuff, if you didn't have a mask, you weren't allowed in. They had a worker working by they closed all entrances down except for one, and they had a guy there with an iPad who These people are entering, these people are leaving, these people are entering, these people are leaving.
Yeah, no,
they had the one-way one-way halls that they actually enforced. You have to stand 6 feet apart in every single in all the lines and such. Like they do a very good job, at least here in Colorado, of keeping things very COVID friendly. And
it's a staunch and harrowing contrast compared to a lot of other communities, especially that I know.
Yes, Doc. My state has common sense. It's wild.
So I wouldn't even say that. I mean, you have to think about, like, the thing is, to have a major multi-billion-dollar corporation veer like that,
but it's
to set up those barriers, to do that sort of thing, and then also to train and hire employees to do those. I mean, common sense, like he says, it's not a very common thing. And then the biggest thing is taking that concept, common sense. We
Uh-huh.
toss out that term so frequently, but taking that and disseminating it and then breaking it down, there's no such working capability as common sense because everyone perceives reality so differently.
Uh-huh.
And to someone who says, "Oh, it's so simple, just wear a mask," or "Hey, it's so simple, just stay 6 feet apart from your peers," to someone else, that is almost devastating. And I personally don't share that mindset or those processes. But it is so weird to think about that.
And it's really weird reading the chat right now and seeing how different things are in other states. Like it's wild that you know Donk and Zen and Hazard over here talking about just how different things are in different areas.
Exactly.
But like here okay, at least Colorado Springs. I can't talk about all of Colorado because I don't go to all of Colorado. But
Lord, don't ask about California.
we don't talk about that fiery state currently.
Yeah, California. My heart goes out to them. I have a lot of family that live in California that are from that area. And honestly, I am the first generation actually born and raised in Utah. So most of my family was actually Californian to start off with. And oh my gosh, it is heartbreaking to see what's going on there. At least in Florida, hey man, at least Florida has Miami, and Florida's a pretty place.
I mean, don't get me wrong, guys. I'm talking about how great Walmart's Colorado is, but
Walmart's Colorado.
Colorado's Walmart. Okay, I'm slightly intoxicated.
Hey, listen, I don't need to hear. Yeah,
That's what the point of the podcast is. Anyways, Colorado is not perfect. Obviously, we still have the people who refuse to wear masks. I do delivery for Uber Eats on the side just for extra cash here and there. Mm-hmm. And there have been I remember very specifically, I was doing a delivery for Chipotle.
Okay.
And I was waiting for they were a little busy. They had a long line. People were generally staying 6 feet apart. Mm-hmm. And then a gentleman walked in, not wearing a mask, nothing like that. Mm-hmm. And he walked in and he looked. Chipotle's here. The Chipotle had like a row of to-go orders, so that you could look for a name and take yours. Mm-hmm. And the guy walked in, and a Chipotle employee walked up and said, "Sir, if you don't have a mask, you have to leave. What's your name? We'll bring your order out to you."
Okay.
And the guy completely ignored her. She said it multiple times, asking him to leave, and
yeah.
So every state has people like that.
Exactly.
Colorado may have done it a little bit better than some of these other places, but we're not perfect. We still have assholes, But
man, it's so weird just hearing those stories, hearing those little hiccups.
Honestly, I can't get in the mind of people like that.
I don't understand. I left for 5 minutes. What did I miss?
We're talking about people who don't abide by COVID rules. People who don't wear masks, don't do stuff like that. Karens and what do we call
Karens and Kevins?
Kev Pog's a pretty good guy, so I don't want to take his name in vain. But Karens and Kevins works.
Karens, Kevins, and that is a tough one.
Karening, Kendall's.
Hey, I have a special delivery of a shut the hell up for one Sunigami. Hey, I'm gonna need you to sign right here. So please sign right here.
Here you go.
Yes, time for one special delivery for a shut the hell up for Sunigami.
Anyways, we joke here to keep it.
Oh yeah.
Not as serious, but it's insane to me. People like.
Hey, hold on. Hey. I'm sorry, I forgot a package. I have one more thing.
Yes.
It's for a coward. Someone named Sunayumi. There's a coward right here.
You call me a coward?
Hey, everyone's a coward.
You schmoward, I need you to sign right here. Sign right
Me?
here for your package. Sir, please sign
Chloe!
online. Sir, sign online.
Chloe, do you hear that? They're calling me a coward.
Sign online right now, please. Sir, sign for your package.
I'm sorry, I can't. Look at her. Look at how cute she is. We
Sir,
are
sign
not
for the
cowards
pack-
in this household.
Sign.
We are not
need-
cowards in this household.
I'm looking for some. I know that
Sir?
something rhymes with.
Sir?
There's something.
Sir?
Sir,
Sir?
need you to calm
Sir? Sir? I need you to
You're
calm
not-
down, please. Sir? Sir?
you're at about a 10
Sir.
right now. I'm gonna need you to come down to a 7.
No, I'm too belligerent to be
Sir.
a 7, sir. 10's
Sir,
all the
I need
way.
I need you to sign this for this package, sir.
Sir, I was in the middle of discussing COVID. Please, let me finish my
Please, sir.
thoughts.
Just sign this package right here for the coward.
No.
See, he didn't sign the package because he's a coward.
I am
He
not a
refuses. He
coward.
ran. He has a yellow streak a mile long.
Anyways, I've lost my entire train of thought.
What
Damn
the-
you,
oh,
bird, you walked
walked-
into a podcast.
Exactly. You walked into the very first episode of two guys, two drinks, and a shot of introduction. The very first episode of our podcast.
Also, you spelled introduction wrong, but we haven't talked about
Hey.
it yet.
Hey, Schmoward, sign on the dotted line.
Sir, I will come to Utah and I will slap you live in front of the internet.
Fine. Sign on the line.
Don't
For a
you
cow.
think I won't? Don't you think I won't?
I will literally write you a letter just with the word coward. But I
You
won't
don't
take
have
that
my
much time.
address.
Won't take that much time. What I'll do is I'll actually just I'll type it in a Word document and I'll just copy the same word a million times, then print it out, and then I'll mail it to you.
Bet. Come on, bring it on, Yuke.
Come on, come
I
on.
don't know, but grab popcorn
The
and drinks.
popcorn and drinks and enjoy. Exactly.
We were serious for about 15 minutes, and then we got off topic.
And then it just fell into depravity. Oh well, everybody's heard about the bird.
Anyways,
Yeah.
the people. So I have some family members who have very serious medical issues, diabetes, cystic fibrosis, stuff like that,
Mhm.
and also just grandparents who are becoming a bit older.
Mhm.
And obviously, I'm young. I'm 22, and COVID doesn't really affect us for the most part. COVID doesn't really affect people of our age as severely. Honestly, you and I could catch COVID and never know we had it, right?
Well, I mean, that's the odd thing is even it depends on, like you said, age and activity level. Because essentially, the thing that's really killing people, it's not necessarily the disease. Well, it's a matter. It's one that actually aggresses and it helps just expedite the process for bigger diseases. It's such an odd thing.
But the if I got COVID and didn't know about it because I was reckless and didn't wear a mask or didn't stay 6 feet apart from someone or at a Walmart or something, and then I
And-
went and did a family gathering and my grandmother got COVID and then my grandmother died because of me, that is directly my fault because I was stupid and didn't
Exactly.
didn't practice social, and I just don't understand people who don't think about it that way. Like, even if you aren't at risk, I'm sure you have a loved one somewhere who is that you're putting at risk by being stupid. Like, it's not hard to wear a mask. It's not hard to social distance. Like, these are easy things to do. And if we
So-
did do it, we wouldn't have so many cases of COVID.
On the topic of distancing, I've been to a mall recently, and I won't say too much about when or where or how, just for the sake of brevity.
Yeah.
But you go to any of the shops and you see the lines, and you're like, okay, cool, it's a line. It's meant to actually do something well. But then you see inside the line, and people are maybe 2-3 feet apart, never 6.
Yeah,
And then further from that, I mean, the shops and the people that are in there, there's actually been studies that there's special paneling you can put inside like the roofs.
mhm.
There's special panels that you can use to actually help filter through the air and make it more safe to breathe. Or just like even today for clothes shopping, let's take it that step. How many people are touching each other's clothes? How many people are touching the products?
Yeah, you could go to a fitting room and try on clothes, and then
Or even
decide not to even buy it.
well, let's take that step. Let's take that thought process and actually take it a step further.
Sure.
Think about this. So anytime you're in one of those stores and like you're being as socially distant as you can, things are going well. Okay, that's fine. You get the clothes, you wash them, you're cautious. But let's say someone is wearing gloves.
Uh-huh.
The invention and the idea of a glove is it's a one-time thing. You're touching the specific thing, and then after get just discarding the material. But some people go through a Walmart, masks up, gloves on, trying to be extra careful, and then they're touching every bit of fruit, every bit of meat, every bit of protein, or going through finding different laundry things, and still wearing the exact same gloves.
Yeah, and that's the problem with
I mean,
COVID.
it's not a deterrent at that point.
Yeah, and that's the problem with COVID in general. I think is in the grand scheme of things, COVID is not a deadly disease. You know, people obviously it has a death toll and people die, but it's not a deadly disease. It's just a very contagious one,
Ugh,
and
I just
that is the problem with it. And don't get me wrong, people die from COVID, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. I'm not downplaying it all, but compared to other global pandemics that have happened in the past, bubonic plague, stuff like that, it's not as deadly, and it's just so contagious.
well, let's start here because I actually want to veer into a separate topic a bit, and this is more. It's on the track, but it's more off of the beaten path.
Okay, hit me. Let's hear it.
Let's hear about your normal, your day to day, because I love the concept of taking it into account how people said that schooling would never be fully online, how people said that working from home would be always such a sparse thing unless you were in a higher position um in the company, or even just the thought that so many things that we had taken into account and said, oh man, there's no way we can keep this online.
Honestly, you're right, and
I mean, even let's take for example your date. If you wanted to reschedule that and do it in a different way, you could even do something like I've heard about this in long distance relationships before, doing a socially distant dinner where you each cook your own meals,
oh,
just sit down and eat
100%,
in front of each
yeah,
other. You could
yeah.
do like board game night that same way if you want to do something like that. I mean, think about it. So many things
You're
that we take
right.
into the day to day, and we say, "Oh man, there's no way we could do this without X kind of interaction." You can, and I think that that is such an awesome and
you're
awesome
right.
thought process.
5 years ago, if I looked at you and
JJ
said
the
all
tutor, what's up?
school is gonna be online, people would be like, "You're insane! Like you can't do school online." Like even I've been going to school to be a teacher for the past 4.5 years,
Okay.
and um 2 years ago I did my student teaching, my working in a classroom. I did it in a classroom, but nowadays everything's
Mhm.
online, and I've had experiences with both. I've done student teaching online, and I've done student teaching in the classroom, and it's so
Exactly.
very, very different, but at the same time, like, it's if you're a good teacher, it's very
Also,
similar.
what's up, JJ the tutor? How are you? Welcome to the chat.
Hey, JJ.
This is a very interesting topic and a very interesting time we're living in.
Yeah,
But
but
even
you're
towards that,
right. Like, I have one of my best friends is a Marine.
Mhm.
He's stationed down in South America right now, and he's been dating a girl for 2 years.
thank you so much for the host.
Donk with one viewer. Nice.
One
Um,
viewer. Nice.
Anyway,
The only one you need.
but he's been dating a girl for 2.5, almost. I don't know how long they've been dating, but they've been doing a long distance relationship, and I've had conversations with both of them, so I'm very close with both him and his girlfriend. We're all good friends, and
Okay.
they do movie nights together where they both watch the same movie. They FaceTime while they watch the movie. They both cook the same meals.
Exactly.
They go to the gym together where they both do the same workout and they're FaceTiming the entire time. And like things like that used to be just a long distance thing, but now it's normal. Like if you want to go on a date with a girl, but that girl's not comfortable hanging out in a public place, let's both sit down. Let's cook the same meal. Let's sit down at the table. Let's eat it together. Let's
Exactly.
FaceTime and watch a movie together. But we both have the same movie playing. Like these are normal, commonplace things that if you had told me 5 years ago would be normal, I'd laugh at you. I'd be like, "You're crazy. What are you talking about?"
There would be no kind of thought process that would rationally bring you to that conclusion. That would
Exactly.
ever be an option. People would actually normally laugh and say, "Oh man, this isn't how it's going to go down." Just like, "Oh, there's no way a long-term relationship can work without actual intimate skinship or being in the same room.
Yeah,
But
and
it's such, or like even to Lord Zen's point, you can VR, you can even take them
yeah,
on a date
right.
in No Man's Sky, or even through like if they have what is it, Elite Dangerous, he's always playing. You can
That's
show
a great
them,
game, by the way.
she can show them different parts of life and in so many different realities. I think that that is just
It's insane.
exactly. You never really know what kind of opportunities you have with this new normal. So I really wanted to get your experience. Like, what made you think that? I know you said going to a fancy dinner, doing that the traditional kind of way,
Uh-huh.
is more your vibe.
It
But
is, yeah. I like to think of myself as a hopeless romantic, just me.
mhm. Oh, Suna, the shaman of shenanigans, truly the the truest man for the
Uh-huh.
job.
hundred
Ah,
percent.
I
But
but
finish your question. What is your final question, sir?
my final question is, what was your determining factor for that? I mean, with all those options available now and all of the, I suppose, more the risk involved than anything, what made you choose to go that way?
So first of all, I'd like to begin this by saying I met this girl on Tinder, which has a very
Hey,
negative connotation on it. Meeting a girl online a year ago or even today, you tell your friend you met a girl on Tinder and you started talking to her, and they're like, okay, you're just looking to hook up with her, right? And no, that's
okay,
that used to be
so
the connotation of online dating, but it's not anymore. Online
so
dating, especially in the age of a pandemic, is more than just trying to hook up with the girl.
so how strong is your Tinder game though?
My Tinder game is very strong, but that's besides the point.
Hey, I just need
That's
to know.
that's for another
We
podcast.
researchers long to know. There are questions I need answered.
We could have an entire podcast about Tinder, and I would be great at it.
In
But
the beginning, I really
anyways,
enjoyed having to stay inside, working from home, not driving as much. But I find it missing the in-person conversation. I don't like the online conversations are as meaningful as the in-person ones. But then again, I'm a pretty sociable person.
I'm the same word. I'm the same word as
Exactly,
you,
I'm the
Bird.
exact same way. No,
I
you.
I
I think you
love
hit the
going
nail on the
in-person.
head.
Yeah,
I think you hit the nail on the head.
we haven't discussed that yet, Zen. Anyways, so um,
We don't even know what's past this. This is brand new uncharted territories.
anyways, going back to but so yeah, I met this girl on Tinder, and we've been talking for about a week before we decided to go on a date together.
Okay.
And honestly, the conversation of COVID never came up in our conversations. We never, hey, are you clean? Hey, am I clean? Like, which
Mhm.
that sounds like a sex thing. Do you like an STD thing? But it's not. It's like a COVID thing nowadays. But on
Mhm.
like, and restaurants at least in Colorado Springs are doing a very good job at respecting COVID and keeping socially distant and stuff like that. So going to a restaurant and taking a girl on a date to a restaurant here in Colorado Springs, I want to make that very specific, in Colorado Springs, is not a big deal because they separate tables and make sure you're at least 6 feet apart from everyone
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But
No, that makes a lot of sense. And then I think I'll continue to follow up and just continue to kind of bombard you with interesting questions because
go
this
for it.
seems to be a good way to go.
Uh-huh.
A few conversations ago, you told me about a bar where there was a secret section inside the bar. But
You're
tell me
talking about
more about
this.
that experience.
So what you're talking about right now is a speakeasy I went to. Um,
Yeah,
for
the
those of
speak,
you, let me
the
give the
speakeasy.
let me give you what a speakeasy is. So for those of
Yeah,
you
the
who
speakeasy.
who aren't history buffs like I may be, back
You
in
are.
the prohibition era when alcohol was illegal, a speakeasy was a secret bar basically. It's where people went to hang out and drink in secret, where cops couldn't catch them. Nowadays, speakeasies have kind of evolved into um,
Mhm.
kind of secret bars that you have to be kind of clever to find. And the speakeasy that I went to, it was a Harry Potter themed one, which by the way was freaking great. Harry Potter is the bomb. Sidebar. But
Kind of quite a few speakeasy locations. Ooh,
yeah, and
Canadian
Colorado
Red
Springs
Wine.
has two or three, but this speakeasy in particular was the size was barely bigger than a closet. It had like 3 tables, but even they took very specific COVID cautions. Um, they had 2 tables that were pretty far apart, plus the bar top, which was 6 feet apart. And the bartender was wearing
Harry
a mask the
Potter.
entire time.
I'm a Slytherin.
Fuck you, Larry. I'm a Gryffindor.
I've
Anyways,
never taken the test.
but so the speakeasy and bars in particular here in Colorado Springs are very good. Most bars, normally when you walk into a bar before before COVID, you'd wander around, hit on women, do whatever you weren't doing to do. But in
Mhm.
Colorado, and again, I want to specify that my experience is limited to Colorado Springs.
Oh, I
Um,
see.
Bars have a very strict policy where once you sit down at your table and start drinking with your friends or by yourself or however you decide to go to the bar, you don't leave that spot. You don't wander to another table and start hitting on a girl over there or anything like that. Like once you sat down, you are that. It's like a restaurant now. The bars are here in
So,
Colorado.
Suna,
Yes.
can I offer you a tip for the next time you're at the bar?
Shoot.
So this is a little thing I heard around the grapevine, grapevine, Texas, if you will.
Uh huh.
Let's start with an example. You find someone you hate at the bar. For some reason,
Good job, Danny Bird.
they give you the wrong kind of vibe. They give you the wrong kind of feeling.
Mhm.
Well, what you can do is have your waiter just order like the fruitiest, just most awesome beverage that they can, and you have them deliver it, and you just like say, "Oh, hey, it's from one of the other people in the bar," and just keep on doing that repeatedly. And they, especially if you're meeting with a friend or something, they're showing up late, you just keep on having them bring drinks, just those fruity drinks. The reason is because at that point it's a gift, and you
Uh-huh.
can't refuse a gift. If not, you're just being rude. So now they're just gonna have to drink all these fruity drinks,
Sure.
and it is glorious. Because just some people get so upset, but others are just like, "Oh, hey," and it just runs the entire gambit. So next time your friend is late, don't tell them who, but they may be receiving a very interesting surprise when they arrive.
All right. And just so you know, chat, dating is eventually a topic that I want to get heavily into with you, Kira, on a separate podcast. We're barely grazing the surface here.
Oh, you don't want none of this.
I want some of that.
You don't want the smoke.
I want the smoke. I want you and I to sit down and have a very, very intimate conversation about the dating life.
Well, let's start.
Look,
Let's crack
I
in.
feel like
Pick
this
a topic.
this podcast can't be going for much longer. How long
Oh,
have we
dude,
planned?
no. We've
How
only
long-
been here we've been here for just over an hour. We've got plenty of time.
All right.
I think you really underestimate. I think you really underestimate how long 2 hours can feel.
Especially when you're intoxicated.
Exactly. You just want things to go, go, go. You darn 22-year-olds. Me and my
Oh,
salty.
you get the fuck out of here. I am
23.
so close to 23. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh, dude, November 24. So don't even get me started. You
Is that
young
when you
kid.
turn 24?
Yeah, November 5th.
Oh. My birthday's
Yeah.
December 3rd. I turned 23 December. So we're close, but
See-
you're
see,
over a little over a year older than me.
You young kids. You
Oh,
want things to
shut
go
the
so
fuck
quick.
up. Get out of here. Dating.
hey.
We want to get into dating.
Hey, I'm gonna need you to sign this little package for me. It's
I
just,
need
you know,
you to shut the fuck up.
Oh man, like I said, guys, things can get ugly. Things can get bowling shoe ugly.
So but you want to get into dating, huh?
I will I will spill my guts as openly as I can.
I mean,
And if I can't, then I won't tell you.
I mean, I'm a very honest, open person.
Oh, I'm sure. But
I-
we don't want to give away everything, or else then the next time you have a conversation, it's like, oh no, they talked about what?
So honestly, and just for me in general,
Okay.
I'm a very I don't believe in lying. I think lying is a silly thing, especially in relationships. Lying is a very silly thing because they're gonna find the truth out eventually, you know?
Donk, conk, lonk, bonk, tonkamonk, redeemed hydrate.
I'll
Cheers.
Anyways, so I'm a very
Hydrated.
honest person. I believe you shouldn't really tell lies because they're gonna find the truth out anyways. There's no point in lying. So even if I'm brutally honest and I should be lying, I refuse to do it. I won't do it. And
So I'm not saying that. I'm saying that just for the sake of brevity and for the sake of more topics in the future, that way we don't continually, run ourselves through the ringer.
so you don't want me to get too deep into relationships. Got it.
Exactly. I feel like we can have specific sections of a topic, but we don't want to explore it and flesh out fully. That way there's still exploration opportunities.
I agree, and I think first date or relationships for me are a very unique topic.
Limited.
I have very specific. Women in general.
I have a very
and-
limited experience.
See, I have a
So-
very not limited experience, which
Well,
is
that's
something we can
because-
get into in a different podcast. I think
Exactly. And
that could be its own topic just in general. So let's not
Oh,
get
yeah,
too
I
into
mean,
it.
even just the idea of being like a late bloomer or not having those opportunities based on what your lifestyle was. I mean, there's a bunch of opportunities to speak.
I feel like
Really?
you and I should have a conversation about our past love lives before we podcast about it, just so we're aware.
Oh yeah, we don't want to surprise you and push you down 2 sets of cliffs or anything.
Yeah, but so let's keep this pretty COVID related, as that is kind of our topic for today.
Ooh.
And let's keep talking about COVID dating, which really I'm not gonna lie
Well-
to you, COVID dating is mainly online dating. As much as people don't enjoy it, myself included, it is.
Online dating has gone nowhere for me. I haven't had any like actual experience that's been positive through online dating quite yet. No.
it's- The problem with COVID is, so before COVID started, the biggest kind of fault of being single is it's really difficult to tell how old a girl is, in my opinion. You can look at a girl and be like, man, she's really pretty, but is she 16 or 25?
I think guys only have one age. I think that after you hit the 20s, you're just like, oh hell, he's old.
Yeah, exactly. But for women, like a 16-year-old girl can
It is
look
so
like
bad.
she's our age.
Well, that's a bit tougher because atomically. Sorry, I'm trying to find the right verbiage,
Mhm.
and I feel like that definitely wasn't the right verbiage.
Sure.
Even physically, they are going to be fully matured way before a male does, just factually.
Exactly. And when you want to hit on a girl, you can't go up to a girl and be like, "Hey, can I see your ID before I hit on you?" That's weird and
Exactly.
creepy. You don't do that.
Hello. I have a little signed delivery sealed. I need you to show me your ID before I can give you a compliment. Let me see your ID.
So before COVID was a thing, there have definitely been times where like I'll see a cute girl out in the wild. I'll be at Target or Barnes and Noble or wherever I'm at, and I'll see a girl and go hit on her, and she'd be like, "Yeah, I'm still in high school." I'll be like, "Sorry for talking
Well,
to you.
seems
Peace
a little
out."
sus. Yeah.
But
When they drop the high school card, that's when you just walk the opposite direction.
and COVID has added a whole new difficulty to this because for one, it's a lot harder to talk to a person in public because of like social distancing and such, and for two,
Mhm.
women, the mask covers up and this is gonna sound kind of shallow, and I'm sorry, but for anyone who says looks don't matter, you're lying.
So I feel like honestly, the mask brings a level of mystique.
But like there could be so much under the mask, and it's so hard to say like I am attracted to
I
this
don't know.
woman when you can't
I-
see a large chunk of what you should be attracted to.
I'm not sure I share that sentiment personally because honestly for me the face mask, especially because I will be the first to say I am a weeb.
Sure.
I accept it. I've worn that t-shirt for years. I like anime, I like Eastern culture, I like seeing, just different sides of life.
So what
and
you're
I think
saying is
that-
we're gonna have a podcast about anime because I love anime as well. Anyways, continue.
Bitch anytime.
Let's do it. All right, continue.
Let's do it. But what I was going to say is that over in let's take Japan or Korea, well South Korea to be specific, for
Sure,
example,
sure.
or even in mainland China, they would use a face mask more as a fashion statement
Sure.
than a preventative.
Uh-huh.
Or even take the two weebs, two drinks, one podcast, no life. Perfect. I love it.
Perfect. That's great.
Oh, that actually is really wonderful. But that might actually have to be that title. We may have to, man. Okay, but but back on our bullshit here. Back on my bullshit. So, even back in the Midwest, wearing a bandana or having that over your face, it was a desperado. It was a symbol of being cool, and I feel like that's the biggest thing. Is even though we kind of touched on it, the fashion industry was also rocked during this pandemic as well.
Yes, it
It was one of the
yes.
biggest industries hit.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, if you were able to have influencers start to push that as a fashion trend again, imagine what happens when it's actually cool to wear that. But I feel like I kind of sound like an old man when I say this because you're just like, well, if I made face mask cool, then I could just get rid of the entire pandemic.
And yeah, I agree with you, like, but so for me personally, there are two big selling points of a girl that I'm attracted to. One is the eyes. If a girl has pretty eyes, I immediately fall in love with her. But two is a
Okay,
smile.
so then you don't need. So then you don't need a face.
Number two is a smile.
Oh, I thought number 2 was gonna be like the ears. I was about ready to.
No.
I had a whole row.
Number two is a smile. If a girl has a beautiful smile, like if a girl smiles at me, and I love her smile, I love you already. Like I want to marry you. Eyes, smile, those are the two of every physical part of a woman. Eyes and smile are the two biggest things, and COVID has taken gotten rid of one of those two things. I can no longer have a girl smile at me from across the room. You know, the cliche movie moment where you see a girl across the room and she smiles at you and you smile back. That's gone.
Right.
That doesn't happen anymore.
But the new cliche movie moment is just like you get the text saying, "Hey, I will emotionally support you," and then usually that's the new movie moment.
Well, you know, everyone wants a girl to emotionally support them, but it's kind of hard to find. Anyways, but that's what I'm saying though. Like COVID, before COVID, you had difficulties with a girl's age. You didn't know how old she is. But for me personally, at least, because I put so much quantity into a girl's smile, social distancing and masks and such has made COVID very difficult for my dating life because the smile is important to me, and that might be shallow. Saying a girl's smile is a big driver to why I might date her. It's shallow. I accept it. It's cool.
I have a little package here for Mr. Shallow. Can I get it?
Gladly sign for that one. There we go.
Okay. And also, I have a second package here for a coward.
No, not signing for that one. Get that one out of here. Fuck that one. Get that one out of here. Get that one. No, please. I don't want to sign that shower. Please, no,
Mr.
please, enough.
Mr. Shower.
No, Mr. Master, please stop. But no.
Oh gosh, I'm becoming that guy at the party that's like, oh man, you do the one thing 3 different times and you still think it's cool.
It's okay. Running jokes and podcasts are fun, but that is the biggest thing that COVID has done for my dating life. Is it has made it much more difficult to find a girl just out in the wild because I value a smile so highly, and it's like I look at a girl wearing a mask and I'm just like, I don't know, smiles are so important to me that I see a girl wearing a mask. I'm like,
so much stock into smiles, but what does yours look like, Suna?
You guys have seen me smile a million times during this podcast.
Do it right now.
Chat, how's my smile?
Yeah, smile rating, smile check. Yeah, see, I need a smile check. So, smile counter 1.
Chat, how we doing? How's the smile?
Oh. The funny thing is that you just never know. Smile's great.
Hey, look, someone said smile's great.
No, you can't vote for yourself. This is rigged. I'm about to have to. Next time I'll have to ban you.
You would never ban me.
Oh.
See, look, damn you, bird said solid smile.
Okay,
Thank
see,
you.
that's one solid vote. A bird to rule them all.
But and I accept the people who say a girl's physical attractiveness isn't, or a man or a woman, a person's physical attractiveness isn't important. They're lying. You're like, obviously, personality is very important, but you cannot be attracted to a girl's personality from across the room. You're attracted to her looks first.
Well, I think that's one big thing that a lot of people really stop thinking about is that it is one of those ideas that, like, when you're first having those interactions, that you're not looking at them physically. No, you are.
You 100%, yeah.
But everyone gets so afraid of saying, "Oh man, I think that you're an attractive person," or even vice versa, just saying that you're not an attractive person to me. People get so off put by that because of what it may mean later.
Yeah, you are 100% correct. But like, a person's physical looks, it's important, at least at first.
I mean, you have to have something to draw them in. There's always got to be.
And you could have the greatest personality in the world. You could be the funniest man, the greatest sense of humor, incredibly intelligent, yada yada yada. But if you don't draw them in with your physical looks first, then it's a lot more difficult. And it's a sad truth, but it is a truth.
It's an uphill battle for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
but it is certainly one that I think a lot of us are slowly starting to accommodate and become better at, which I think is actually something that's really needed.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Okay. So we've touched a bit on relationships. We've talked a lot about COVID, but we haven't talked about
Mm-hmm.
your Magic the Gathering.
My match. Hold on.
Yeah, I need to see because I feel like
This is the only paper deck I still own in person. I sold the rest of my Magic cards.
I know you were talking about Narset control, and I feel like that's just a bad thing in general, but
Narset control, nah. I play Savine control and Commander. This is the only paper deck I still own.
hey man, paper Magic is all I own. Right now I still have 8 Commander decks, and I jam on that. I am actually actively working on my next one, but that is
So here's
a
my
little bit
Commander.
more
It is Savine. It's
Yep,
just guy
Savine.
control. And you know, here's our Commander deck. It's
100
you know,
cards. Yeah, I get you. Give a
I
little
don't-
solid up.
I don't think there's
So-
anything terribly expensive in the deck. I don't know. I guess if you count Teferi's expensive, Teferi's kind of up there. Oh no,
But what,
Enlighten.
honest-
I have an OG Enlightened Tutor. OG Enlightened Tutor is pretty expensive.
so to kind of even bring up the topic of MTG finance for even half a second, because it
It's
really is.
horrible, and we should get rid of it.
Well, the thing is that it's dying slowly. I mean, paper Magic has devalued so much because of everything going on right now,
You are correct. Yes.
which is awesome. I mean, it gets my paper cheaper, but I mean,
But I mean, it's also I mean, as much as I hate MTG finance, I sell cards on TCG Player, and
oh,
it's one of my backup ways to
Mhm.
make money. Is I buy and sell cards. Is kind of a
Oh,
thing
yeah.
that I do.
oh yeah,
So it's kind of sad that cards are getting lower and lower in value because I sell. But honestly, I would much rather never sell another Magic card and just have everything be accessible. The reserve list in Magic is ridiculous and a joke, and they should get rid of it.
Oh
Reprint
my.
Dual Lands, reprint the Moxen, reprint the Power 9. Make these older formats more accessible. Let me play Legacy for less than $2,000 a deck.
exactly. I mean, oh, you've been speaking truth. I'm not gonna stop you. I'm listening. I'm enjoying the content.
I can rant about Magic for a.
You and I
First
could
of
have.
all, Can
You and I
we
could have 3
fix
entire
the
topics
ban
about
list?
Magic.
Ban the 3-drop Teferi in every format. Ban
Okay.
Uro in every format.
3 fairy is just ridiculous.
Uro is a silly. Okay, people want Omnath banned in standard. No, Omnath is a 4-drop of 4 different colors.
Dude, 4
Ban
color.
Uro.
Oh, did you not see that? Did you see it just with the most recent top 8? How good?
No,
How
Omnath-
insanely good?
Omnath is a good
Omnath,
Magic
yeah.
card. I'm not saying that. I'm not disagreeing with that. But
Oh, no, no.
Uro is the card that needs to be banned. Fuck that card in every single format. Delete it. Control,
Oh my God.
delete.
I'm so glad
From
I'm so
everything.
glad I started this. This is wonderful.
Do not just. I hate.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Uro is a So
You know, I feel like people who've
even
never
if
heard
you
Magic.
answer, if your opponent escapes Uro, and then you remove it from play, your opponent gained 6 life and drew 2 cards. So you 2-for-0'd yourself by killing their Uro.
So I
That
feel
is
like
a
I need.
losing battle.
I feel like I need to say this, especially with Magic the Gathering. We need to have 3 separate podcasts just for Magic the Gathering.
I've been playing Magic the Gathering since I was a child. Magic the Gathering is something that is very close to me. I've done competitive tournaments. I play
I can
MTG
see.
Arena. I have traveled for Like Magic is it is a core of who I am.
Oh no, I completely understand. I did not start in the same vein you did. I mean, I've top 4 at a GP. That's really my biggest accolade was a modern GP. I
Big
top
copy.
4'd.
You top 4 a modern GP? Good for you.
Yeah.
I've never
How you-
competed in GPs because I thought GPs were
Wait,
kind
what?
of ridiculous. I always competed in side events.
Yeah, I mean, it has been an interesting, just love hate interaction with Magic the Gathering. But okay, we've been talking about new normals, and that's kind of
The new normal for
tagline.
Magic is you play on Arena or you play on Magic the Gathering Online, which is a horrible client, or you don't play Magic at all, which
Rating with a
sucks.
party of 6. Thank you so much, Claybon. Welcome in everyone to the first episode
Hi.
of our podcast. We're having discussions.
We're
Discussions.
talking
having
about Magic
podcast.
right now, but
Yeah.
you
could set
can
up a
set
tabletop,
set
yeah.
up remote tabletop, and that is a thing I've done. If you go to my YouTube
Certainly.
channel, I have a few commander videos that are remote setup. You are correct, but for the most part, Magic is Magic the Gathering Arena
Oh, yeah.
and Magic the Gathering Online. Magic the Gathering
But-
Online is a horrible trash format.
Oh, shit.
A client. Magic the Gathering
Welcome
Online is
in.
horrible. It sucks. I'm having probs. How you doing, dude? I haven't talked to you in a few minutes. I always
Totally.
snipe your streams. I put them on the background. I hope.
Thank you so much for the resub. Thank you for the raid. Welcome in everyone. This is our podcast, and this is what we do. We drink, we talk, and we figure out new topics as we go along. Apparently.
Yep. But
But back on, like I said, I'm going to get back on the soapbox because I want to make sure that we're keeping this. Here it is. How are you? That we're keeping this line of thinking, like new normals. We've talked about a daily routine, about your work interactions, about
Yeah,
work
you-
computers, about
sure.
everything kind of going through. But honestly, how do you deal with the minutia of saying, okay, well, after a work day, you go back and you just set your computer aside, and then you go and probably go to the living room or start something else? Because I think that's something that I've struggled with, is trying to kind of keep that, the regular headspace, but
And
still have your.
I
work
100%. I understand what you say. Like I said, my work computer, I'm looking at you guys right now. My work computer is literally 4 inches to the
I
right.
love props. Hell
So,
yeah,
like,
we love props.
My work computer is in my room with me, so like it's really difficult to get ahead. And like I've said before, I do Uber Eats delivering just for fun, and just to kind of
Oh
make
wait,
some extra
I
cash.
can't remember it. Here, let me see.
But like,
This should do that. Sorry, I was doing a thing in the background. You're good.
But like but the biggest way I get out of the house is I just
Mhm.
I go and drive. I hop in my car and I'll take myself for a drive for a next hour. I will get out of the house. I'll go to. I don't need to buy anything from Walmart, but I'll go to Walmart and I'll walk around and look at things. I'll go to the mall and I'll put my mask on and social distance, and I'll stay safe while I'm doing it. But you have to stay. You have to get out of the house. It is, and you have to socialize. Human beings are a social species. It is impossible to not socialize with people, to not stand face to face. Like, sure, you and I are having a conversation, but we're doing it over the internet. I cannot see your face. You are not. I am not looking you in the eyes while we converse right now.
Oh yeah, no, I get you. That's the tough part. I mean, but I also feel like it. Let me ask you this, because I'm gonna chug the last of my beer. Hey, there we go.
Good for you. I
Cheers.
finished my alcohol for the night. I have 3 more, and I'm gonna save them for later. I'm a little intoxicated. If you couldn't tell from how
Yeah,
good I am.
I get you. We're just here vibing. Damn you,
Good.
bird with the cheers. Beautiful.
Good. So, anyways, what was your question, sir?
Oh no, so I kind of wanted to get your perspective on, like, even nighttime driving, or like even doing like nighttime socially distant runs. Have you ever done anything like that, or have you rediscovered any hobbies that you might have had? Because that's something that I've been really figuring out too, is taking stock of a lot of hobbies and a lot of different things in my life that I may or I may not like, and start kind of weeding those out.
100%. Yeah, totally. Like, before COVID, I cooked every once in a while, but now I love cooking. I cook all the time.
Okay,
another
what's a recent recipe for you?
I made
about
curry,
300
Indian
hours.
curry for the first time. I
Oh,
made
yeah,
Indian curry. It was great.
Ooh, dude, I love making chicken curry. Honestly, curry is just one of those beautiful reusable recipes for.
You're 100%. For those of you who don't know, I'm half Indian. Indian, not Native American Indian. My grandmother is an immigrant from India. So curry is something that I grew up with. It's something that is very special to me. Me making it for the first time was a very important moment for me. But besides cooking, I do a lot of writing. For those of you who don't know, I'm a published poet. Maybe we'll get into that in a different topic. Poetry is amazing. I love poetry. It speaks to my soul. A lentil curry the other day, exactly, stuff like that.
Oh my god, that sounds beautiful.
Another thing that I've really discovered is volleyball. I have some friends of mine who play volleyball, and they invited me to come out and game or to play with them one day, and
Okay.
it is amazing getting out. We do it like once every week, once every 2 weeks nowadays.
Mhm.
We'll go to a court. We get some alcohol and we just play volleyball for like 10 hours straight, and
That sounds
it
awesome.
helps keep me sane, honestly.
Totally. I mean, those sorts of interactions, those sorts of, like you said, those sorts of just engaged activities
Yeah,
are what
getting
really
out of the
get.
house. You
Oh
have
man,
to
I
leave your home.
event. I think that honestly, just going out for a walk, getting my heart rate up
Yeah.
every once, and it's not a very often thing because, and that's something I'm working on actually, is getting more active as well. I
And
think just taking in a breath of air and realizing that it's not toxic,
yeah, and
that
like
it's not this
Chloe's
big.
very good for me in that regard because I have to take
Mhm.
her for I don't have she likes walks, so I take her for
Yeah.
walks, and that gets me out of the house. That's a good thing to do. But there are people that I've spoken to who haven't
Hmm.
left their house since like July, and I'm like, how? How are
Well,
you
I mean,
getting by? How are you still sane?
oh, dude, I'm a big homebody. I leave my house very sparsely. Like I said, that's why it's been so bad for my
Yeah,
nutritional
going to
side of
take a
things
hike.
also.
That's also great. But
Exactly, hiking is really good. But that's kind of my main takeaway is it's such a time of reflection, of self-discovery. There are so many overarching themes that you can take from a pandemic or a situation like this that I
yeah,
I really think people overlook.
it's not a lot of people focus on the negatives. It's not all negative.
Well, oh man, that's a
Like
whole separate topic we need to
okay,
get into at a different at a different
you're
time.
right. You're right. It is, but I'm gonna say this. A lot of
Yes.
people are focusing on how horrible COVID is, and don't get me wrong, it sucks. Global pandemics are horrible, but there
Well,
is something good that you can find in every single negative in your life. Okay, you can
I think
find
that
great things you can learn about great things. You can go fishing like Zen. Donk just went on a 3-day vacation. Damn you, Bird goes on hikes. Like since
I think
because
the
of
biggest
COVID.
thing
Like
is like
these are
you
COVID
get,
sucks,
but I think
but
you get desensitized to it. I mean, my biggest thing is I've stopped. I've had to stop, especially right now, because for the first few months I was constantly having the news in my mind or in the background.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I literally I've had to stop. It's been a strain on my mental health because I can't reconcile the fact that yes, there are 200,000 deaths as of right now due to COVID. I know things are bad. I know that it's a tough situation. I know that if there was an avoidable way, I would do it.
Like
But I mean, how do you reconcile with that if it happens every single hour of every single day? That there's a new way that the world is ending. There's no way to do that in a healthy manner.
yeah, and you know who was really good until they stopped? John Krasinski had a YouTube channel called Some Good News,
Mhm.
and that used he hasn't uploaded it in a few months.
I think he sold that, didn't he? I thought he sold
He
it for like a good chunk of money.
he did sell it, which I'm kind of sad about. But for the time that it was just him doing some good news, that was so
It was a
heartfelt and
it,
so good. Like the
mhm.
news is generally pretty negative nowadays. It's all politics, it's all
It's,
celebrities dying, and so on and so forth. But like a
I'm
channel like that where you just put out good news is phenomenal.
exactly. We're actually highlighting some good stuff, but let's. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to toss up the BR back screen for just like 3 minutes. Well, actually, even less than that. Just well, so I can use the restroom really quick. Okay, Suna, entertain the people.
I got to pee too. Oh no.
Okay, well then we'll both be right back, and it'll be an actual be right back in like maybe a minute or so.
I love all of you.
Not as much as I love you.
Ah, man. Hello, friends. It is me, your friendly Ukemaster 1 here. Hello. But a good point was actually just really raised up in the chat. And I know that Suna is still indisposed at the moment, so I will trudge on, if you will, as a solo host for just a moment. If you'll give me a bit of brevity for that. Like Donk said, if there's ever going to go back to a place where things can be normal again, that is not, I don't know, it's not something that I really think about. Think about this. Back after a major life event, like personally in American history, in recent American history, there was 9/11. Travel restrictions changed. The security changed. Life as we knew it on a fundamental level changed. The thing is that there is no specific normality that's going to return. The new normal is going to be a precautionary one.
I 100% agree.
It's going to be rough. It's going to be changed.
It's going to be years before we get back to pre-COVID.
There's never going to be a regular interaction as of a pre-COVID. There's going to be a vaccine, more than likely. There's going to be an opportunity for a preventative measures.
Yeah.
But there's never going to be a full-fledged fix. It's the same with any other disease. It's an adjustment and a marathon, not a sprint. And right now, that's what people think this is. It's a sprint towards a cure.
Yeah, people think by next year we're going to be back to normal and people are going to be able to attend concerts or, go to giant Magic the Gathering tournaments and stuff like that. But that's not going to be the case.
It's fundamentally just untrue. And also, I apologize that my name and box not being in the center upset you. It's not a setting I have control over. I do apologize. But
if only they could see my layout, which is much more professional.
Hey, your layout can eat it. We'll discuss that at a different time.
You guys can see my layout when I upload this to YouTube after tonight.
Yeah, here, actually show us. Give us a little channel. Yeah, you'll see the layout in a different light when things get changed. But gotta miss concerts. Well, I mean, dude, even virtual meet and greets and virtual concerts are becoming so much more prevalent.
Yeah,
but
100%.
I don't know, man. I mean, I think the concept of normality is something that's always really interested me, and even on a fundamental level, just trying to run that through my head that this is what normal is going to be. I can't even begin to imagine that.
I can't imagine what we're going to be dealing with in 2 years from now. Like, what the world is going to be like 2 years from now, Like, it's going to be a fundamental, very different world than we lived in 2019 or 2018.
Well, actually, Suna, let's talk about that for a moment. How do you feel? I mean, like you said, you're 22, I'm 23, and it is just overwhelming. There's no precursor to this. There's no thought process of how we are moving forward. I mean, it's a scary thought. Like, what are you feeling as far as any kind of preparedness? If there is any, I don't think that there is a way to feel prepared, but you know how people are always saying, oh man, I never felt prepared to be an adult. I never felt prepared to have these experiences. Even right now, it's so daunting that it doesn't feel like there's a possibility to be prepared.
And taking what you said, being prepared to be an adult is going to take on a whole new meaning. Because, being an adult used to mean, paying your bills on time and occasionally going out with friends if you're lucky, stuff like that. But nowadays, being an adult means, you responsibly social distance. You're wearing your mask when you should.
You're actually alive.
Yeah,
it's literally it's stopped being a preparedness thing or an age thing. It's a survival factor at this point.
And and 2 to 3 years from now, when we look at stuff like that, it's going. You go to a concert 2 to 3 years from now, you're no longer in a big old mosh pit of a crowd. You're. I don't know if you saw it before England, before things really took off in England, or before COVID really became big in England.
Okay.
They used to have they did a few social distance concerts where they fenced in tables where you could have like a max of 6 people sit at these tables, and you
Okay.
could kind of sit and you'd have servers come around and serve you whatever you needed. But instead of a mosh pit, these circles of these tables were pretty far apart from each other on like lawns and such like stuff like that. And
It sounds a lot more like in. Oh man, come on. What would be the best comparison? Like an affluent party. So like in big social gatherings or in really high class social events, they'll definitely have music or they'll have live performers that are always there. I mean, you even see, and this is one that you and I can both relate to. Hamilton, they actually went and did some performances back in, I believe it was like 2018 at the White House.
yeah,
But you go back and you think that it kind of becomes more of that, where it's more of like a ball or a gala rather than a regular sense of a concert.
yeah, and
Yeah.
you keep people apart from each other. And 2 to 3 years from now, it's going to be the same. People aren't going to be mosh pitting up and going crazy and jumping up and down and dancing. They're going to be apart from each other, and maybe you might have a wife and husband dancing together or something like that, but you're not going to have these giant mosh pits and
Exactly.
that's not
is-
going to be a thing for a long time, longer than people are expecting. People are expecting people think the vaccine's going to come out and everything's going to be fixed. They no more problems once the vaccine comes out, but that's not how diseases work.
I think that I earnestly believe that people have this just this utopian idea of
Yeah.
what the end of the road looks like, and it just isn't realistic. But I feel like that when people finally start realizing that it's not going to be realistic, that's when the true opportunities arise for us to actually have really tough interactions, really tough chats.
Yeah, and a lot of people aren't having these hard conversations. They are ignoring the obvious that's in front of them. They're ignoring the fact that, we talked about Magic a little bit today. They're ignoring the fact that big Magic tournaments that used to happen a year or two ago that a lot of people, myself included, used to attend, those sorts of things aren't going to be happening for a long time.
Exactly.
The last Mythic Invitational that WotC did, they did it on Magic Online, and stuff like that is going to become the norm going forward. You are no longer going to sit in a giant event hall with a few thousand other people, and you're not going to sit at a table 2 feet apart from the next table playing Magic. That's just not going to be a thing. You're no longer going to go to a concert to be able to mosh pit. You're no longer going to be able to go to a restaurant and have it packed full with no tables empty. There's going to be tables between people that are, keeping them distance. Stuff like that is not. It's going to be the new norm.
We've talked quite a bit about COVID. We've talked quite a bit about the ramifications. We've talked about normals. But let's continue and trudge through the trenches. There's one last topic here.
Okay.
Let's talk some shop. Let's X some O's. Let's tick some boxes. Let's bring some big money events.
Okay.
I feel like you just aren't ready.
I'm
Never mind.
ready. Hit me with it. What do you got?
Come on. I need you to be more ready. Come on.
Oh, I'm ready. All right, that was too much.
That was nice. I like that. What anime have you been watching recently?
Anime is going to be a
No,
completely.
hit me with it. Hit me with it right now.
Okay.
Hit me, baby, one more time. We're gonna give them a preview.
Food Wars just ended. I've been watching Food Wars since it came out.
Okay.
Love
Okay.
that anime. That was a great anime.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, My Hero Academia. We're waiting on season 5 to come out. Great.
Still
anime.
cannot. Okay, so My Hero Acca. Can we just talk about that? Are you a manga reader or are you strictly anime?
I was a manga reader, so I am.
So you
I
are
am
caught
very far ahead of where they are in the anime.
Are you fully caught up though?
Yes, I have read the latest chapter. Yeah, dog.
Oh, baby,
Food
I love
Wars
you.
ended their last episode this week.
Oh my god! Everyone just says that show after a while kind of went. And I'm not
My
sure how I
Hero or
feel
Food
about it.
Wars?
Oh no, Food Wars. Food Wars, 100%.
I thoroughly enjoyed Food Wars.
Oh no, I don't think it's not enjoyable. I mean, you can have good trash, but it still has to be. It has to be profiled correctly.
It's one of those. When you follow a show
Looks
for
level
as long
captain
as
extreme. Okay,
Food,
cool.
Food Wars
Hey,
was
man.
5 years long. It took 5 years for it
This was
to
good, man.
fully come out.
Did you read the anime, son? You know what? That does make sense.
ReZero is another phenomenal anime that I've been watching. If you guys
I
haven't seen
I have never seen ReZero.
ReZero is phenomenal. I would 100% recommend it.
Okay.
I just watched God of High School is an anime that makes no sense, but the action scenes in it are phenomenal. So I basically turn subtitles off and watch them fight because it's cool. Donk wants to know what my favorite anime is.
You take that one.
Oh man. Okay, so favorite anime is Gurren Lagann,
Oh, I like that.
but Gurren Lagann's number one. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a very close second. Brotherhood is amazing.
I do definitely love me some Full Metal.
Number 3, Code
Oh my
Geass.
gosh.
I love Code
You gave anime.
Geass.
So this is a terrible answer, and I've said this so many times, but I am the absolute worst at picking favorites. I don't think I actually have ever picked a favorite, other than maybe a very select few people. But even then, I'm not picking a favorite because it's a multiple. It's not something that I do. I think that the idea of a favorite is so just removed from something that's good, because how many amazing choices are there?
There are
How
so
many?
many. You have to get into
Exactly.
categories and you know, like my
I
favorite
don't.
love anime. My favorite love anime or romance.
Oh,
Your
dude.
Lie in April. That one hit hard. That one made me
Your Lie in April is
cry.
great, but that's what I'm saying.
Favorite.
I can't do it. I am not able to, in my being, to pick a kingpin
So I have
because of that.
I 100. So Gurren Lagann is the first.
Mhm.
It's the first anime that I really back when it first came out in like the mid 2000s. That's the first real anime that really that wasn't a Toonami anime, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've all seen regular animes, like we've all seen the Dragon Balls, the Yu-Gi-Ohs,
Yeah, the Bleach, the
et cetera,
Naruto's,
yes.
Fairy Tail.
Exactly. Fairy Tail is another good example, yes.
Yeah, but like
But
I have a Gurren Lagann
Gurren
tattoo on my
Lagann,
back and a Full Metal Alchemist on my shoulder tattoo.
if I had to pick even
Let's go
one
top
that
3.
I'm
You go top 3. Give me your top 3.
okay, so I'll definitely start with one that in junior high school I was actually shown Full Metal Alchemist, not Brotherhood, just Full Metal.
I like Full Metal Alchemist. Just the original show is good. The fact that
I
I read the manga.
So that was
after.
actually my introduction into anime as a
Okay.
whole. Yeah, I mean, were there giant creatures, lots of bloods, humans, guns?
That sounds like Attack on Titan.
That is totally AOT. But Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, when I found that series, it has truly become one of my favorites. And it's just when you hear Travis Willingham walk in as Roy Mustang and you hear him say, "How's it going? Full Metal." And you're just like, "Oh my." And the hype just reaches its pinnacle. Oh my god. And
I feel like if Brotherhood has to be on everyone's the top of or near the top of everyone's list. It has to be indisputably one of the best animes out there.
A close second is one I actually just recently revisited as well. Because at my work, I'll actually have my iPad going so I can watch Netflix or whatever. Just have a bit of background noise.
Sure.
So my next two are actually two shoujo animes, which normally you would hear those and you're like, oh wait, what?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. But my second one it has to be this. It is Ouran High School Host Club. By Club. Yes, that is literally one of my top favorite shows of all time is Ouran High School Host Club. I love the aesthetic. I love that everything is vibrant colors and the pink is really off-putting for people, but it is such a show of emotion, even if it's really bad. But it's off-putting. It makes people uncomfortable, but it is so compelling for comedy and physical comedy if you like it.
Yeah.
But the other one was actually my first introduction into manga. This is my third pick and one that I will always have love for. And it is Fruits Basket. Fruits Basket was actually right after Full Metal Alchemist. That was the second anime I had ever fully, seen was an anime. And it is phenomenal. I love the story. They actually just updated the show and did a re-release of the series to make it closer to the manga, which I'm actually really happy about.
Yeah, I
But
saw that.
the original 2006 series, I will always have a place for that because it was the first one that hit different. Like you had Full Metal Alchemist that just slapped you right in the face with action and little bit of fan service here and there, just a fuck ton of big caveman brain energy. Just I'm ready to go, but it still hit on a physical level and an emotional level.
Uh-huh.
But Fruits Basket was the first one to take that concept for me, that caveman brain, and expand on it and just say, this is how these characters interact in their daily. This is why they're so close to each other. And just seeing that expound on itself, it is amazing.
Fruit Basket's a good one.
Sorry,
another-
I went on a literal tangent there. I'm so sorry.
Anime is a great thing to go on a tangent for. But like you said, it's so difficult to pick top animes because there's such.
Well,
there are so many like different genres. Like if you want to pick my favorite sports anime, I love Haikyuu. Haikyuu is amazing for a sports anime.
I've actually never seen Haikyuu.
I would recommend it 100%. It's great.
Like it's not even the concept of a favorite anime. It's the concept of favorites in general that I have a problem with. I hate picking favorites.
Okay.
Period. Like they always say, "Oh man, I'm not going to favorite one person over the other. That's not how I do things." Well, take that concept and then quantify it throughout every book, every bit of media in life. Like I can say, "Oh man, I really enjoyed that," but I could never say, "Oh, this is definitively my top 100."
That's fair. And I can see where you're coming from, but I also at the same time I am able to pick favorites. My favorite video game is Monster Hunter. Favorite video game series is Monster Hunter.
One day I will get into that, I promise. One day.
My favorite book series, Pendragon. I love Pendragon. My favorite TV show, Scrubs. Scrubs is a great show. Gurren Lagann, my favorite anime. The only thing I don't think I could ever pick a favorite for is my favorite Disney movie. Disney movies are always they shift all the time.
It has to, at least in the Pixar realm. It has to be.
No, I'm talking not Pixar, but strictly Disney. If we're picking Pixar, then Toy Story, obviously. But
oh no, I'm actually in a whole different camp there. And this might be a bit of a different kind of pick, but for me, I mean, I have to take the reins and ready up here for Big Hero 6.
Okay, but like WALL-E, I love WALL-E, dude. WALL-E is phenomenal.
We got all the favorites in the chat. It is so great to see this.
No, we're talking Disney.
Sorry, Disney.
Yeah, Big Hero 6 is Disney.
More Disney, not specifically Pixar, but just, Disney.
But yeah, like WALL-E is phenomenal. The Disney Renaissance, Hercules, Mulan, stuff like that. That's phenomenal.
Oh man. Oh, like I can't even begin to. Even their like actual live productions are still really good.
Yeah, the Mulan live production was pretty bad.
No, that one just I can understand that. That was just pandering. At its core, it's just pandering.
But you, we're coming to the end of our first podcast here.
And the end of the podcast, but not the end of the stream, because you owe me Halo, and I'm collecting.
But do you have?
No, hey, don't you hello me.
No, we're wrapping up the podcast here. Do you have any final thoughts? Anything you want to talk about before we wrap up?
Actually, yeah, and I apologize because I'm going to take center stage on this.
Go for it. Hit us. Let's hear it.
So we've talked a lot about some heavy topics, and I really hope that, yet again, what I said at the beginning of this is not taken lightly. I don't care if you love us, if you hate us, if you have any reaction. As long as we're giving you a reprieve from the day-to-day that's so tough, that is something that I love. But for any topic we do, for anything we discuss, always think of your personal stance and your mental health first. We don't want this to be a series where it's a bunch of tough discussions that people are not even willing to participate in. We want this to be a big, expansive, fun thing. But most importantly, just I've said this and I've said that I've appreciated you guys so many times, and it is so true. There isn't a second in my day where I could not say something nice or say something that I appreciate you guys for. Just don't forget to love each other, and don't forget to take your mental health into your thought process with all this going on as well. And like I said, Asuna, I'm gonna defer to you for a moment because I had a lot to say and a lot to say with it. So, your turn.
Um, I agree with a lot of what you said. You know, we get into some pretty heavy topics here. And I'm sure we will get into a lot more heavy topics as we get into our podcast more and more, and we have more defined topics as we get into it. You know, today was kind of an introduction. We talked about a lot. We mainly focused on COVID, but you know, we dipped into relationships and magic and this and that. But you know, as we get into hardcore topics where we really discuss things, if you feel uncomfortable with anything we're talking about, or you don't agree with it, you know, it's not you are okay to disagree with us, and that's okay. But take care of yourself before the podcast. You know, if you look at the podcast, you see a title, and you're like, man, I don't think I can watch that, then don't. It's okay. So, you know, focus on yourselves. Let's get through this together. This global pandemic kind of sucks. Everyone knows it, but let's make it happen. You know,
Exactly.
social distance. Wear your masks. Let's get through this. And
with that, this has been two guys, two drinks, and a shot of an introduction.
catch you next week, YouTube. Have a good one. Like, subscribe, and comment. All that good stuff.